Back for another day here, a nice late summer day. This is day 7 now since we seeded that topsoil, and that perennial ryegrass, it's up pretty consistently across there. You can start to see some green haze in it. The Kentucky Bluegrass we're still waiting for. And if you look way down there, that is 3-week mark. So 21 days since I seeded that Fairway extension and tee box, and it is so green. It's blending in with the 1-year-old Kentucky Bluegrass. We have 3 or 4 days of summer-like temperatures coming up here, and I think when that heat streak is over, we should have a lot of Kentucky Bluegrass germinated here. This nice dark brown topsoil, it's slowly going to disappear and turn green. That homemade irrigation system, it's working great. I've got full coverage over this topsoil. It's not a huge area, but it's getting watered evenly, so with that heat, we really should see some grass growing here. I've got to go down and look at our seeding project from 3 weeks ago. I can't believe how thick that is. Bentgrass Greens looking awesome. Kentucky Bluegrass Fairway looking great too, starting to really fill in, closing in on 1 year since I seeded it. I'm getting close to transitioning to that rough and fairway area. I really look forward to that. I think we can turn this is basically a lawn. I call it a backyard golf course, but it's really just a bunch of grass. It's a lawn, but I think when you cut in that rough to fairway lines, curve them all around the greens and everything, I think it's gonna look awesome. Really set that lawn off and make it look even more like a backyard golf course. But here we are. Look at how bushy that is. It is thickened up. The Kentucky Bluegrass is kicking in now. It's got 3 or 4 leaves on it. Even though it's short, Kentucky Bluegrass really only about that tall. Most of that you see there is a perennial ryegrass. That's leafed out 4 or 5 leaves on a lot of that perennial ryegrass, but I really need that bluegrass. I'm in a climate here, I'm so cold, I can't grow perennial ryegrass, so I'm using it as a nursery grass to really nurture along that Kentucky Bluegrass. Insanity here on this, 3 weeks in. I can't believe it's this thick. It looks like a lawn from down low, still a little bit thin from up top, but way further than I thought it, like that fertilizer that we just put down a few days back. I gotta mow this soon. Did not think I'd be mowing this quickly, but I'm going to mow with my Fairway mower. It's a real mower, a triplex Toro 3100. I have it set to 3/4 of an inch. And the issue is when the grass gets too long, real mowers aren't that great. So I want to come in here gently because this topsoil is damp. It's fairly new. I don't want to destroy anything, but I'm going to have to mow this in the next 5 days, and I did not expect to have to do that. And back up at the tee box here, I love this tee shot. We've been golfing here quite a bit, and this is a tough par 3. Our ugly tee mat, it's starting to blend in. I can't wait till we get it full here and you can't really notice it's there. By next year, I honestly think this is a big enough area. I can probably remove the mat and we can just hit out of the grass here. So that's a quick check-in on section 1 of our Kentucky Bluegrass. Section 2 is right here, and we gotta get to work on section 3. This is another area. This is the final area that I have here. I'm out of topsoil. I've used up a mountain of it. And in here, you got a really nice look at that green. You've got a pretty good look over here at the smaller green. And I just want to clean this up, and you can see the gravel here. This is my project for today, tomorrow, whenever I can kind of sneak away for an hour at a time. I want to get this leveled off here. I've got a slope on this entire area. It was just extra property here, so I want to take the time and get a really nice level gravel area and then skim that in topsoil, put a hitting mat down for this year, plant some grass here. I don't have irrigation. This is the only place in the whole property that I don't have irrigation. Most people probably don't have irrigation, so I just have to kind of get used to it. I've been spoiled to have that homemade system working really well all over this place. I'm gonna use a different grass seed here. I think maybe throw some bluegrass in, but I've got a tougher grass seed that we'll talk about later on when this is all cleaned up, but looks like a mess here right now. I've got to get this cleaned up with one nice tee box. I got a quick mow on the greens this morning, and this bent grass is looking so good. I can't believe it. Honestly, a year ago, I was reading how to build a golf green, how to grow bent grass. I've never worked at a golf course before, never done any of this. Trying to look on camera like I kind of know what I'm doing here, but honestly, just making it up as I go, trying to react, to things that happen, but the Bentgrass greens. They look so good. Love cutting the dew in the morning, mowing in that dew. It looks so good. And if we come over here, we can see some green. When I look down this slope on the nice low angle, I can see a lot of green coming in. So that perennial ryegrass, it's happy. That was champion perennial ryegrass. Day 8, and I know we're going to see, I might be able to see a little bit of bluegrass coming now. I will be getting back to this area. This is that topsoil area with the tee box probably later today. But first, one thing I didn't do when I seeded this last week on that last video was put the starter fertilizer down. So I got to do that now. This isn't the largest area I've ever seeded, but it's one of the trickiest ones because the entire surface of the topsoil is on a hill. Having put down 75% Kentucky Bluegrass in this seeding, which can take 2 weeks to get a tiny root to hold it down, I was pretty sure I was going to get a hard rain at some point over those 2 weeks and I would lose a lot of seed down there, and that's why I didn't want to fertilize. My fertilizer would have washed down to the bottom of the hill. So we gambled. It's been exceptional weather, just perfect weather. Once again, going with 16-32-6 for the starter fertilizer. That 32 number is big, and that's that middle number, that's phosphorus. That's what we want for root growth. However, this stuff has 16 nitrogen in it, so it's going to give it some energy to grow some green growth. Nothing crazy, just 3 pounds per 1,000 square feet. So the way I'm thinking, by delaying that starter fertilizer for the week and putting it down today, is that this is exactly when that young grass wants the feed to the root system. Last week, not so much, and if we would have lost it in the rain, that was a problem. So today and from here on in, I can control that moisture, keep that food in the root zone, because in the next few days here, we're gonna have almost 100% of this seed starting to shoot out roots, and it's going to be able to pick up that feeding. I was just about to bring some topsoil in to cover up this gravel on the tee box that we just did, and I was kind of staring into space, which I do quite well here. And back in this area, there's a couple piles of dirt here that I think's been here for years before we were around. And I'm thinking maybe I can push this back, level it off, and clean it up, and possibly push a tee box further back here to have an even longer shot. It's quite nice back in here and a really nice look at that far green. And honestly, once I get topsoil down on here, I can't ever really come into this area with the skid steer to clean it up. So even if I don't do a tee box here, I think I'm just gonna take 20 minutes here and try to clean this up. That's looking better already. Now I'm going to bring in the skid steer with one of my favorite attachments. It's a simple one. It is a bucket with teeth on it. And I'm going to try to carve this down nice and flat here and clean, and see if we do have some potential here for a tee box. So what do you think? I like it. I don't love that it's only 20 yards from that other tee box that I have going over there. A little bit of elevation, looks great, straight shot to that green. You got to go over the pond here. I do like it. I'm glad I did it. I just wanted to do this because it's so fast now when there's no finished ground. I can just plow this over. I think what I'll do is just sprinkle some topsoil down in here. It's going to be a tough place to grow grass. A lot of shade here. Up there, I get about maybe 3-4 hours of direct sun through here, so it's not going to do well. This might just be a full-time artificial turf in here, but at least it's cleaned up. This is the end of the line for the topsoil pile. That's all I got left. This was a 50 dump truck load of topsoil 4 years ago. Part of it went to the front yard that we never really seem to talk about anymore. And then the rest of it is back here. I know I said I wasn't going to do it, but I had to go out. It hurt, but I had to buy one more load of topsoil. I've got it way over there, so I'll be trucking it now in the skid steer. Got some low spots here, got to cover that gravel tee box that we did too. So that's gonna take a little bit of time. We'll speed that up, and then it's time for that final smoothing with the power rake. Quick intermission to check in on the new seed. Look at that, day 9. I can see Kentucky Bluegrass starting to pop out of the soil. Most of what you see there is the champion perennial ryegrass, but I can clearly see the bluegrass now popping up. This is going to get green quickly. We've had excellent weather, good heat, warm nights. I can't control the heat, I can control the moisture. I think I have enough topsoil down here right now. It is lumpy and bumpy. It's not pretty at all, but with that power rake on the skid steer, we should clean this up quite nicely. This is not my best part of the property. This is kind of like bonus space, so thin topsoil, got some gravel, got some rocks on that end. There's not really a perfect palette here, but we'll see what we can do. Let's get power raking. Good morning. It is seed day. We are definitely getting the seed down this morning, so let's get back at it. There are so many woodpeckers in these dead elm trees. I like these trees. I love elm trees, but that Dutch elm disease has knocked out every elm tree in the area. I'm gonna leave them up because these woodpeckers are all over them. And once again, the final step of smoothing the soil will be done by this simple, basic piece of equipment, but it is so good. I can't believe how well this thing works. This chain harrow will just drag through, it'll catch some junk, but more importantly, it will just level everything off perfect. The soil finish looks so good. The combination of the two machines, the skid steer and the power rake, and then coming in with that drag, that is the key. That hides any little blemishes, levels everything out, super smooth, and we're pretty much ready for seed here. I want to go over this tee box. This is probably the main one. I'm still not sure on that one. It's a little tight in there. I think it'll still become a tee box, but I want to make sure this one is good. We've got a little bit of slope to the river, so I'm going to take the time by hand now because it is so much easier to level something that doesn't have grass growing on it. If you have a lawn at home and you want to level it, that's a huge job. This topsoil, it just moves so easy, so now is the time to do that. That looks a lot better. I want to test that now, and yeah, that is perfectly level. I mean, close enough for the hacks that are going to play here. I'm going to jump quickly and get this seed down because the sky doesn't look great and we're supposed to get a little bit of rain, and I don't want to work with wet soil. Check this out. This is approaching 1 month. That's the Fairway extension that we did a couple of videos ago. Looks so good here. No rain again since I put it down. It's been so dry, but the irrigation's holding up. For this seed mix, I'm going to do something slightly different. In the garbage can, I have some of our seed left over, and this is 75% Everest Kentucky Bluegrass and 25% Champion perennial ryegrass. Because most of that topsoil is not going to get hit with irrigation, I was looking for the toughest, nicest grass seed I could find in a cool season lawn. Talked to a few people and they recommended a creeping red fescue. This stuff is not going to need water. It's not going to need as much mowing. It's not going to need as much feeding. So it's a low maintenance lawn. It's supposed to look decent. Is it going to look as good as Kentucky Bluegrass? Of course not. There's way more work involved and inputs needed in Kentucky Bluegrass, but it's supposed to be pretty nice and super tough. That wind's picking up, so I want to get this seed down and then I'll work backwards to these tee boxes. I have those green tee mats to put down, so I'm going to sink them into the soil, and then I guess I have to hit a tee shot here. That seems to be the way we've been doing this. I'll see if I can not hit one into the pond and put one on the green here at the end. So with a mix like that, it's always a little bit difficult to figure out how much to put down. Honestly, I don't think about it too much. I don't even know how many square feet are here. I just know what I want to see for seed in the soil. On a brand new topsoil lawn, you want about 3 pounds per 1,000 square feet of Kentucky Bluegrass. With that creeping red fescue, you want about 5 pounds per 1,000 square feet. And with the perennial ryegrass, which I had a little bit in this mix, that's about 7 to 9 pounds per square foot. So honestly, on the overall, I was kind of shooting for about 5 total. You can spend all day measuring square footage and weighing individual seeds, but if your soil looks like this when you're done, you know you're going to have a pretty good lawn come through. Next is the starter fertilizer, 3 pounds per 1,000 square feet. This is 1632.6. Next, I'm going to take that fan rake and drag it across the soil. I did this 10 days ago and it is really held in. I can actually see the lines that I made with the rake. I haven't washed any of that seed down, and I think it germinates quicker because it gets under the dirt a little bit. Hard to believe I've done this entire property, walked it all with the rake here in my hand, but it works. The turf out there looks great. It came up really consistent, so that's what I'm going for here. Tee mats, we are getting to the end of this project. I want to get these mats down. I'm still not in love with my mats. That's an Amazon one. This is actually an old Callaway mat, and I really should have circled back and picked these up. This has been around for 5 years here. This has survived being just left out in the old gravel pit. It's seen a lot of things, still holding up. It's got a little rip in it, but it's done really well. I'm gonna put that on the back box. This tee box area runs a bit parallel with the river, but the thing is the golf shot's actually twisted this way, so it's gonna look a little bit weird here, but I wanna line this up perfectly with the hole. I think that looks good there. And yes, you can probably tell I got to cut some more trees here. I am not doing that today. I'm exhausted. I just want to get this wrapped up, get this packed down, and wait for the rain. There we go, the mats are down nice and level and firm. This tee box here, there is no irrigation and very little sunlight, so I'm going to go with 100% Celestial Creeping Red Fescue. This will be a very good test for this grass to see what it can do here. It is totally on its own. And this tee box is much more in the sun, so I'm going to stick with the same seed that we have down there, the Kentucky Bluegrass and the Creeping Red Fescue. A little bit of starter fertilizer. Well, I guess it's time to test this thing out. I'm going to roll the seed later. I just want to get this shot over with. You would think a guy building a golf course would have a rangefinder, but I do not. I like to go by feel here, by eye. I'm guessing that's about 115 yards. Do I take an easy pitching wedge or do I try to be a hero with a 52? I'm gonna try to be a hero. The back is stiff. I don't love doing these shots after landscaping, but we got to see how this feels here. I'm hoping this ball lands on the green, mostly because then I only have to do one tracer when I'm editing this video. Oh, left. Bunker. Bunker. All right, here we go. First one was just a warm-up. Maybe. It's on. It's on the green. I'll grab my putter, I'll finish that one off down there. You can see that end of the course. The nice thing with this tee box, I forgot to mention, is it can go there too. So this is not that easy of a shot. You've got that big valley to get over and a small green. So pretty cool when I get these tee boxes, it can go two different ways. We'll go for a quick walk. The course is looking pretty good this time of year. Up on this ridge, I have a tee box. I got to get this mat into the ground. That's a job coming up. This is a really nice one that can go both ways too. I've got a tee box over at the clubhouse that I like to call it. It's really just a garden shed. One over by the pond too that you got to clear the water. I'm going to do two over there, one over here. So lots of tee boxes to get worked in here as we go. There's my first ball in the sand trap. I got to take this wood off around this bunker. It's been there for almost a year, so I'm pretty sure that soil's settled in there. There's my other shot. Not bad. I'm glad I got that on camera. That was really only 2 balls. I didn't even cheat. I didn't mow the greens today. Sorry, I'm slacking. This off season, I have to get some new pins. These were just given to me from a golf course. They were kind of in their storage shed. So I know now why they were in there. They are so worn out, they just tip over. I've got a nicely drilled hole, but it always looks crooked with this flag. If you told me 5 years ago I'd be trying to hit a putt on YouTube, I would tell you were crazy. Oh, I've never been a good putter, which is ironic because I now have 2 backyard golf greens. Oh, still can't hit a putt on video. Another tee box done. I'm working on the quest for 18 holes here. We're getting close, actually. There's quite a few out there. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. There was so much dust coming off of that when I was rolling it. That soil is just bone dry. I have 2 rotors here that I've been watering this area with. I can now kick them to 360 degrees. I'm gonna pick up a small amount of that, like very little. This is not normal for me. I'm gonna have to just leave this up to Mother Nature. All right, the moment of truth to see if I get any bonus water over here. We're making it to about here. That irrigation's fighting the wind a little bit today. Maybe 25% coverage, so not great. I can definitely see myself next spring running a line from the shed up to here because these kind of are nice tee boxes. Now that we're here, we're cleaned up and it's open. I'd really like to have irrigation on here if I could, but for the next few months, we're just going to be at the mercy of Mother Nature. That was a busy day over there, but at least now the clock starts ticking. Hopefully we get some rain. We get some heavy, heavy dew with the river here and these cooler temperatures at night. So I should get moisture on that every night now, but I could use some rain for sure. This here, day 9, Kentucky Bluegrass, perennial ryegrass. That Kentucky is coming up now. It's starting to look good. You can see the green haze. We're pretty much done in this area. However, I made the giant mistake a couple days ago of ordering a pallet of sod. And I don't really feel like doing that now, but it's coming tomorrow morning. I'm going to do this area. I could have really seeded it. I was worried about washout, but like I said, it's been so dry. We haven't had any rain since I did this hill. I can't believe it. I have perfect coverage there. No seed washed, no fertilizer washed. So it looks like this will be greened up tomorrow with some sod. The sun is coming up. The sod should be here soon. I want to spray the greens with a light fertilizer. Haven't done that in a while. Here's our sprinkler coverage. You can kind of see the dark topsoil where the sprinkler antlers cut. Not a lot. I wish it was back at our tee boxes, but we'll just deal with this. It'll be really interesting to see. This grass obviously going to come in earliest, and how long it's going to take for the seed with no irrigation on it to pop up. Well, the sod's here, it's going down there. This time last year, I installed sod around the entire pond rim. Today, I really just have one lift. It's not that big of a deal. Don't mind doing sod. It's fairly straightforward to do. If you want to try it yourself, it's a great way to put down an instant lawn. Today, we've got some nice Kentucky Bluegrass ready to go. So we'll get this down now. Sod goes pretty quick. It's actually not that bad of a job. Super simple to do. If you want to try it yourself, it is not that difficult. It cuts really nice with one of those sod knives. They're cheap. Got it on Amazon. Works really well. I can get around the rocks. That was the slow part, but when you're going in a straight line, it is quite quick. One mistake I made last year is I didn't get the water on quick enough once I was complete. As soon as you're done, get the water on, soak that sod. We've been so dry around the area. That's where this sod came from. It's only an hour away. They're dry as well. So it is dried out already. I got to get the water on it now. We got the water on that seed. That is our Kentucky Bluegrass perennial ryegrass mixture. It's looking good. I got to mow the far piece, that plot that I did. That's almost a month old. That was 2 weeks earlier. So that one has to get mowed. And then we've got the one that I just completed yesterday. That's getting a little bit of irrigation right now, but we'll see how that comes in. That's got that creeping red fescue in it. But yeah, thanks for watching this one. I'll be back here. We're getting it greened up now. There's lots of area. There always was a lot of area, but now there's a lot more to maintain and mow, but we'll be doing some mowing here coming up.